What do you do with that? I gotta bring my brother. You what? I gotta bring my brother. I got it. Nobody in this house tells me anything like 20 minutes before. Gotcha. Well, that's about how I feel. Yeah. It's fair.
Yeah. Are you a little better when they can take it out. We didn't have near much stuff left over in the fall in the spring, so I think we keep up. Yeah, whoever like break up this like I said, I'll be there. But it'll keep me where I can. Like anybody else, they just just a long showed off. So
All right. I'd like to welcome everybody to the Madison County Board of Commissioners regular business meeting, December 18th, 2023 at 6 p.m. Please stand for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That sounds good with the choir. Great. All right. Gentlemen, before you have the minutes from November 27, 2023 regular business meeting, minutes from December 4, 2023 agenda setting work session, minutes from December 12, 2023 special call meeting. Take a moment, look over those, and I will entertain a motion to approve those minutes. If you see any discrepancies, please let us know.
Will be approved.
Motion by Commissioner Chandler, second by Commissioner Kirk. Any discussion, gentlemen? Hearing none. Commissioner Adams? Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen. Business involving guest groups and multiple visitors. As we all look around tonight, the first thing I want to say is thank you to our youth in Madison County. Thank you for showing up tonight. It's a special night to represent you all, and it is my honor to start with the proclamation for FFA Ag Communication Team's National Champion.
Okay, these young ladies, Miss Abigail Adams, Katie Carew, Anna Kate Mathis, Anna Moon, and the advisor is Miss Erin Elliott. This is a proclamation for the 2023 FFA National Winning Ag Communications Team. Whereas the Madison County FFA Ag Communications Team has exhibited unparalleled dedication, skill, and teamwork in the pursuit of excellence in agricultural communication, and whereas their unwavering commitment to the principles of the National FFA organization has resulted in an outstanding victory at the National Championship in Ag Communications, and whereas the team has showcased exceptional proficiency in conveying agricultural knowledge, utilizing innovative communication strategies, and demonstrating a profound understanding of the importance of effective communication in the agricultural industry, and whereas their triumph stands as a testament to the hard work, perseverance, and passion instilled by the FFA, nurturing the leaders of tomorrow in the fields of agriculture, communication, and beyond. And whereas the Madison County community takes great pride in recognizing and celebrating the remarkable achievement of the FFA Ag Communications team, serving as an exemplary ambassadors for our state and community. Now, therefore, be it resolved, the Madison County Board of Commissioners do hereby proclaim that the Madison County FFA Ag Communications team is hereby honored and commended for their extraordinary victory in securing the 2023 National Championship, symbolizing the pinnacle of excellence in agricultural communication. So resolved by the Madison County Board of Commissioners on this, the 18th day of December, 2023. And if I may ad-lib a little bit on this, I'm sure the other commissioners agree with me, you make Madison County proud. Thank you.
With that being said, do I have a motion? Do I have a motion?
I make a motion.
Second motion. I have a motion by Commissioner Adams, second by Commissioner Chandler. Any discussion, gentlemen? Hearing none.
Yes.
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 All right, ladies, come forward. Thank you so much.
Somebody take it.
All right, 1, 2. Gotcha.
Thank you all so
All
much.
right.
Great job. Appreciate all y'all. All right. Now we have pleased to present a proclamations for the FFA Poultry Evaluations Team National Convention.
I'd like to get these young leaders to stand forward. Ms. Isabel Williams, Mr. Joshua Black, Mr. George Parham.
I'll be a little here.
You're on one. But I'm gonna call them out anyway. George Parham and Devin Self. A couple of these young students were 5th in the nation in poultry evaluation. Ms. Williams was actually the high individual in the written component of that. Joshua Black was high individual in the egg grading component. Outstanding job. Their advisor for this event was Lupe Petrova. This proclamation, the Madison County High School FFA Poultry Evaluation Team. Whereas the Madison County Poultry Evaluation Team has showcased exemplary dedication, knowledge, and expertise in the field of poultry evaluation, competing at the highest level in the National FFA Convention. And whereas their tireless commitment to excellence has resulted in a commendable 5th place finish among the top poultry evaluation teams across the nation. And whereas the team has demonstrated outstanding proficiency in evaluating various aspects of the poultry industry, including production, processing, marketing, contributing to the rich agricultural heritage of our state. And whereas their achievement serves as a source of inspiration for fellow FFA members and the community, emphasizing the importance of skill development, teamwork, and leadership in the agricultural sector. And Whereas the Madison County community takes great pride in recognizing and celebrating the remarkable achievement of the FFA Poultry Evaluation Team representing our community with honor and distinction. Now therefore be it resolved, the Madison County Board of Commissioners do hereby proclaim that the Madison County High School FFA Poultry Evaluation Team is hereby commended for their exceptional 5th place finish at the National Convention, demonstrating the highest standards of excellence in poultry evaluation.
Thank you, sir. Gentlemen, do I have a motion to approve this proclamation?
Move this proclamation be approved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Chandler, second by Commissioner Adams. Any discussion, gentlemen? Hearing none.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Roll call. Except all five, since you're slacker friends.
We just get a short notice on this one.
Yeah, I get this. I told y'all about this a long time ago. I told Felipe about it. That's all. That's right.
We
You
got
get to be
the
the
best
star.
team.
That's right. That's right. You got the star.
One, two. One.
Sorry.
All right. Got it.
Now, this one's a little near and dear to my heart, just to be honest with you. Proclamation for FFA National Convention Band, Carter Hendricks. Whereas Carter Hendricks is a current Madison County High School FFA president and was selected to participate in the National FFA Talent Band and perform at the 96th National FFA Convention. And whereas the National FFA Convention Band stands as a vibrant abundance of music excellence and uniting the spirit of the National FFA organization with the universal language of music. And whereas the harmonics, notes, and rhythm produced by the talented members of the National FFA Convention Board resonates with the values of leadership, education, and community that define the FFA. And whereas the dedication, discipline, and passion demonstrated by the members of the National FFA Convention Band serves as an inspiration to the FFA members across the nation, encouraging them to reach new heights in both their musical endeavors and personal growth. And now, therefore, be it proclaimed that we, the Madison County Board of Commissioners, do hereby recognize and honor Carter Hendricks in his participation in the 96th National FFA Convention Band. We commend his musical talents, commitment to excellence, and represents of Madison County. So, gentlemen, I entertain a motion to approve this proclamation.
Move this proclamation be approved. Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Chandler, second by Commissioner Kirk. Any discussion, gentlemen? Commissioner Kirk?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
So resolved by the Madison County Board of Commissioners on the 18th day of December, 2023. Mr. Carter Hendricks, please step forward. What? Right there. You look good right there.
You take my chair, you want that?
Smile and 1, 2, 3.
Hey, before you leave, I want to say something. I don't know, we had a FFA gala the other night. There's a lot of people in attendance. But there's one thing that stuck out in my mind about you, son, was how many of your FFA team members looked up to you and how many of them that took their presentation and spoke about your leadership. That means a lot to us, son. Thank you for what you do. Yes.
Just before we do that, let me share with Mr. Chairman, call out just a few more names. For those of y'all who have not been heavily involved in the FFA program or supporting it, we have been blessed with we are blessed with what I consider to be the A team of instructors in our BOAG department. I'm gonna call out these names and just hope y'all to thank them as we recognize these students tonight. Ms. Sarah Holmes is Ag Education throughout all the elementary schools in the county. Dr. Josh Whitworth is at the middle school. At high school, we have Ms. Erin Elliott with us tonight, Lupe Pedraza, and Josh Daniel. And then we have Ms. Cindy Jones as our young farmer advisor. All these are the team of Ag Education in the county. And I can tell you, it is the A team, and our students in this county are benefactors of it. So thank you all for what you do.
Before we move on, if any of the Ag team would like to disperse, you're welcome to. If any would like to stay, we're going to have a long night. Thank you so much for coming. Parents, thank you for what you do for these children.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Good job, Boomer.
Gentlemen, I got two left. Oh, do you? Oh, which one do y'all? We have some more seats if you'd like to come in, stand on the wall. Come on in. All right. Next, we have the proclamation for the 17U Volleyball District 7 champions and state runner-up.
So I get to do the proclamation recognizing the Madison County Volleyball 17 and under team. Whereas the Madison County Recreation Department volleyball program is highly competitive at the local level, and whereas the 8 young ladies selected to represent Madison County on the All-Star team are among the most talented players in the county. And whereas the 2 volunteer coaches provided training, inspiration, and highest example of good sportsmanship. And whereas the team advanced as District 7 champions to the state playoff competition, where they held a perfect team record, making it to the championship game. And whereas, after a hard-fought championship match, their hard work and determination resulted in being the state runner-ups in the 17U Class BC division. And whereas it is most appropriate that we recognize the accomplishments of these individuals and their parents to support their hours of practice and travel to games. Therefore, the Board of Commissioners and the citizens of Madison County recognize the 2023 Georgia Recreation and Parks Association District 7 Volleyball 17U champion and State Volleyball 17U runner-up, and extend our congratulations and appreciation for representing Madison County. Furthermore, we thank the parents and friends who provided the guidance and support for these young ladies to excel in their sport.
Gentlemen, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second. A motion by Commissioner Kirk, motion by Commissioner May, second by Commissioner Kirk. Any discussion, gentlemen? Hearing none. Mr. Kirk.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So resolved by the Madison County Board of Commissioners this 18th day of December, 2023.
Nobody leave when we get done with pictures. There's one more step to this process that you don't know about.
Everybody gets a copy of the
Alright, you guys, there's something y'all don't know. I know.
All right, next you want to pass it down now, or?
Yeah, let's go get it now. For everyone that's here that's not aware, the 17 you've seen, we're very proud of them. Unfortunately, there was an order error with their awards, so they do get a little something special tonight. They get the awards that they earned in this tournament. Go.
Yes, put them on. You already have. Everybody got one?
Everybody have one? Everybody have your medal? All right. All right. We leave. All right.
Let's get by you and you can fill the hole back. Hey, wait a minute, the volleyball player's just taller than me.
Right here, right here.
Anybody win a bucket?
Everybody, kind of. 1, 2, 3. Shut up, Mom. Don't move. Please. Thank you.
Thank you all so much. Great job.
Even though I'm still winning up fighting against me.
I coached we did all this season.
2 more, we'll go home. Make sure we get this right.
All right. Next up, proclamation for the 12U Soccer District 7 champion. 10U volleyball. 10U volleyball District 7 runner-up.
All right. Have we, where are those? There's 9 young ladies?
Yes.
All right. All right. Okay, y'all stand up. All right. There you go. All right. So this is a proclamation recognizing the Madison County Volleyball 10 and under team. All right. Whereas the Madison County Recreation Department volleyball program is highly competitive at the local level, and whereas the 9 young ladies selected to represent Madison County on the All-Star team are among the most talented players in the county, and whereas the 3 volunteer coaches provided training, inspiration, and highest example of good sportsmanship, and whereas the team advanced as District 7 runner-ups to the state playoff competition, and whereas after hard-fought matches, their hard work and determination resulted in placing 6 out of the 12 teams from across the state in the 10U class ABC division, and whereas it is most appropriate that we recognize the accomplishments of these individuals and their parents who supported the hours of practice and traveled to the games. The Board of Commissioners and the citizens of Madison County recognize the 2023
Georgia Recreation and Parks Associate District 7 Volleyball 10U runner-ups, and extend our congratulations and appreciation for representing Madison County. Furthermore, we thank the parents and friends who provided the guidance and support for these young ladies to excel in their sport.
Gentlemen, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Commissioner Kirk, second by Commissioner Chandler. Any discussion, gentlemen? Hearing none, Commissioner Doster.
Yes.
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 Yes. All right, so resolved by the Madison County Board of Commissioners on this 18th day of December 2023. Congratulations.
You want to bring You're not.
I'm not.
That was outside. Yeah, they have her feet on.
We got orange. Now I got your idea. With me. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you all. Great job. Great job. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can actually go back and watch this video on the county website. It should be up tomorrow. They are live streamed now.
On the highest camera in the world.
All right. Proclamation for the 12U Soccer District 7 champions.
All right, where's the 12U co-ed team at? Stand up. All right, we've got a good looking crowd. All right, so recognizing Madison County Soccer 12 and under co-ed team, whereas the Madison County Recreation Department soccer program is the largest program in the department and is highly competitive at the local level, and whereas the 13 young men and women selected to represent Madison County on the 12U All-Star team are among the best players in the county, and whereas the 2 volunteer coaches provide training, encouragement, and examples of the highest example of good sportsmanship, and whereas the team advanced as District 7 champions to the state playoff competition, and whereas their pool play win put them against Oglethorpe County in the first round, and although the results weren't what we had anticipated, the team fought hard and gave it their all. And whereas it is most important that we recognize the accomplishments of these individuals and their parents who supported them through the hours of practice and travels to games. Therefore, on behalf of the Board of Commissioners and the citizens of Madison County, we recognize the 2023 Georgia Recreation and Parks Association District 7 Soccer Co-ed 12U Championship Team and extend our congratulations and appreciation for representing Madison County. Furthermore, we thank the parents and the friends who provided the guidance and the support for these young people to excel in their sport. Mr. Chairman, I make a motion we approve this proclamation.
Motion by Commissioner Doster, second by Commissioner Adams. Any discussion, Joe? Hearing none. Commissioner Adams?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Therefore, so resolved by the Madison County Board of Commissioners on this 18th day of December 2023. Please come forward.
Hey, Daddy, now you'll feel goal. Let's feel goal now. Mommy, you're not.
No, sure.
Here we go.
All right, then.
Sure.
Congratulations, gang.
Hey, by the way, this year was rigged. Yeah.
Take me. Oh, I get you 10. There you go. Just a second, we'll get everybody there.
Yeah, I'm down.
Sticky fingers are sticking together. Ladies. You want to? Put him up front.
We got the mascots hiding back here.
Hey, Commissioner Kirk, can you move a little bit away for me?
Which way?
Right here. So
Oh, okay.
Perfect.
Okay, thank you.
All right, everybody look at me. 1, 2, 3, smile. Smile.
Good job, guys and girls.
Congratulations, gang. Good work.
Yep. Oh, you don't.
Oh, I know, but I know that you know already.
Sir? Nathan, when you go out, just let anybody know if they want to come in. It's left.
Sports is over, the rec department has left the building?
Yeah, now the rec department's gone.
I'll tell them.
There they go.
Thank you.
Come on.
Hey, man.
It got so hot.
So that skated email about government. Got you there.
All right. Chairman's report. Broadband update, AT&T recently reached out to me and made me aware that they've launched a new cell site, 5G, 4G, LTE, and HD voice service to improve coverage along Highway 29 between Royston and Danielsville. The government complex will be closed December 25th and 26th. Recreation Department will be closed the week after Christmas. Library will be closed December 24th, 25th, and 26th. The Christmas in Danielsville event went as well as it could due to the weather, but I do thank them for putting that on. I know they had a lot of vendors show up, and I think the Grand Marshal was Mr. George Strickland. Madison County First Program will be hosting Pictures with Santa December 22nd from 1 p.m. until 4 p.m. at the old Danielsville Gym. Donations only. All donations go to the Madison County First Program to help fund next year's Pictures with Santa. Spring one for the Chipper event will be December 27th through January 6th at the Madison County Transfer Station. For each recycled tree, a complimentary tree seedling or pack of seed will be given to a plant. Live, undecorated trees only. This is a free event for Madison County citizens. The 2023 financial budget report is attached, gentlemen. Ms. Payne, she stayed over tonight to try to answer any questions for this. If any sticks out right away, she's more than happy to answer them now. If not, if you want to take it home and look over it, you're welcome to contact her. Maybe she can answer those questions for you. all in all, our county budget does look pretty good. There will be a few budgeted items that need to be moved, but nothing over budget. If I'm correct in seeing this, the numbers I'm looking at.
Yes, for the most part. The budget amendments will be completed after we close out December. And the deficits that you may see, they'll correct themselves, and the largest that you see in that general fund, it comes from your property and, property taxes, because our due date's not till December 20th.
So that's
It's coming in, and, I mean, even like today, I posted another payment, but it's not recognized in here, because this was as of November 30th, that we pulled, okay? So overall, yes, the budget is we're looking good.
Gentlemen, this was the budget that, you know, we got ourselves into between Ms. Figueroa and Ms. Payne. But luckily, we were able to maintain and keep those numbers under. Roughly $390,000 is where we think we're going to be. Once this all flushes out, if our targeted goal is to maintain this number, let's put it that way. I think we made a wise decision on our rollback, and hopefully we can stay within our budget, which so far we've been able to do for 2 years. We haven't, the third year is still unseen completely anyway. We should have that number probably in February. It'll take about 60 days after year end to flush out all bills that's out there floating.
Right. By the time we get to the end of February, things will settle down. There may be a straggler at the 1st of March, but for the most part, the most of it will be finished by the end of February.
All right. Any questions for Ms. Payne?
And gentlemen, y'all feel free to call at any time. I mean, if you sit down and do some reading and then decide to have questions, it's okay, call me.
I don't want us to discuss this tonight, but I do want us to keep the thought process about the possibility of changing our fiscal year so we have more of the year completed prior to us making decisions on, so just keep that thought process out there. If we decide it's the best thing to do, when that would need to happen, how we need to set up a partial year to roll into it, that kind of thing.
Well, and we had discussed that with the new auditor, and he honestly said it's not really going to help. What you're trying to do, he said it's really not going to help. He says those that have the fiscal year, they run into the same thing. He said because it just lays out differently. I mean, overall, I think, I know it's hard, but we did roll out the 24 budget a little earlier this year than what you had in the previous, I'm understanding. And overall, I mean, yes, we're still going to make a few adjustments to that. A few amendments are going to come along because things happen that you can't anticipate until, yep, there it is. So I think you're going to find that whether we do a calendar or whether we do a fiscal. But I'll be glad, I mean, we'll be glad to look at anything you guys want to look at, but that was what was told to us when we asked that question.
And my thinking on that is just having more of the history of the year completed so we'll have a better, more clear picture of how close we are actually to the budget amounts prior to building the next year's budget. But it looks like if we can continue to have this kind of history, then yeah, it's probably not necessary to think about it. So thank you.
Well, I think everyone worked hard this year. All of the departments seem, I mean, everybody has been very conscious and they're trying very hard to watch their budgets and ask questions. And so I think that's what it takes. It's just everyone working together.
It's a testament to the elected officials in all the different branches, and you can see that there before you, of how many of them were conscious that the rollback was approved, and so therefore they've done their best to roll back also. We are very, very lucky in that aspect. So with that being said, statements and remarks from citizens on agenda items before us tonight. Hearing none. Lamar, are you still under a time crunch?
No, I'm good. Y'all do what you gotta do.
Okay. With that being said, consider the Animal Control Department structure and policy. Christopher, might as well come on up. There's probably
Yes,
gonna
sir.
be a couple of questions, but just in case.
Yes, sir.
It'll already be here. I know there was a late from Mike, there was a late email. Some people may not have saw it.
Yeah, that was just the resolution, that's
Okay.
actually for the next agenda item, that's just the resolution, that's sort of the cover for the
Okay.
amendments to the ordinance.
So has anything changed, Christopher, since we talked about this?
No, sir. At this point, in time, if it needs to change, we'll do whatever y'all say.
It's really only the changes in the ordinance itself, pretty much just the dollar figures on the fines.
Yes,
Or
sir.
the length of days.
We had to adjust some, where the jurisdiction fell with the sheriff's department and, that's right, way enforcing the ordinance and put it back on the animal control officer.
But essentially, it's just ordinance that we currently have in place.
Yes, sir. All right. Anybody have any other questions? Mr. Roach? Hearing none, we'll ask for a motion to approve this departmental structure and policy.
I move this structure and policy be approved as is presented.
I have a motion by Commissioner Chandler. Do I have a second? Second by Commissioner Dawson. Any discussion, gentlemen? Hearing none. I got it. Huh?
Yes.
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 Yes. Motion carries, sir. Consider animal control ordinance amendments. Any questions for Christopher, or has there been any changes made?
There hasn't been any changes made. The only thing I would like to address the board, and I know Mike has something to say on this one.
No, this is the one I was saying, I just did a resolution to be the cover page to say we're substituting this for the prior one.
There is some legislation currently up at the state level underneath the gold dome that we may have to reflect differently that isn't covered in our ordinance. And also moving from the sheriff's department into the BOC. We've done the best with what was there to get us up and running. I hope it will continue through, but I want y'all to know that as we have situations come up and different encounters, I foresee in 2024 possibly having to revisit possible, not a definite, but as we get up and running, we've got wiggle room, y'all got wiggle room, and it's going to be some growing pains, I think, as we move forward.
All right, thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
My motion was on the structure and ordinance. If you want to pull it out and do it.
Well, and actually, item 7 said structure and policies. I don't know what the policies were, but this is for the amendments.
Animal control policy follows the county employee policy. As we move forward, we operate underneath the code enforcement's standard operating policy for in the field, since it'll be underneath the umbrella of it.
All right, so I'll ask for a motion to adopt the animal control ordinance
And
amendment.
Mr. Chairman, could I ask one question?
Yes, absolutely.
In the resolution, I put the effective date being immediately, which is normally what we do. Would you prefer a January 1 effective date, or?
I would prefer a January 1 effective date.
Okay.
That's amenable
Yeah.
to y'all.
That's when we'll have staff and we'll have everything up and going and ready.
Okay.
I do the best I can in the 2 weeks, but it's probably going to be an open gate.
I'd rather start with a clean mark.
Yes, sir.
On the penalty for violations, where did we come up with the high number?
Starting out with the 180, 125. That is the court fees associated in with it that both magistrate and the state have approved. As we move forward with that, that's the minimum fee that'll be allowed. And then, of course, we're constrained by magistrate court to not go over $995 per citation.
But we,
Or per count, sorry, per count.
can't you also, besides the minimum fee, can't you attach like a 3% administrative fee on top of that?
Yeah.
All those are calculated by the court, and actually the resolution says, or actually, I believe it's within the ordinance, I have to take that back, that, that the normal court fees would be added to whatever those fines are. So there's a number of tack-on fees.
Yeah. The fines incorporate what we have now, and then if the court fees go up, then that would be tacked on top of the 181.25. We've used these numbers for code enforcement, building inspection, and zoning citations for the past 3 years. And we've had a lot of success with these numbers. We went out and created a fee study 3 years ago. One of the first things we did when I came on with the county was calculate the fee structure and get with magistrate court, probate court, for what not only the state's doing, but our surrounding counties. And Judge Patton was willing to sign off on those as having a baseline for him to judge his rulings on. They also allow us to work early court payouts if they come into compliance prior to court, to where they do not have to come and take up the time and everything here in the building, but it also covers the fees for the courts having to deal with them. Still processing the fact that they had a citation, we're just able to come into compliance prior to. Now, on there also is the boarding fees and the standard pickup fees for dogs off property, things of that nature, that had to change from $10 to 10. Didn't matter if we had it a week or if we had it 1 day. $10.
So that, and that says it's not less than 181, and it's not less than 362.50, so it can be changed.
Substantially.
Yes, sir. I do know Athens, Clark County, when I looked at them, because they were the only county, so to say, around us that really had a set fee schedule when it pertained to animal control as a standalone, which is very hard to find by the record, or for the record. We are cheap compared to that county.
I guess that's what I'm saying. We're under the market on this at the end of the day. 'Cause
So the fee structure, could that be administratively changed?
We're just setting minimums and maximums in accordance with the recommendations of the
Okay,
magistrate court.
and we'll let the court
It could be.
set it.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
So you're talking about 1019 penalty, or are you talking about the fees for impoundment?
So the impoundment and the pickup fees will be set, because the court doesn't have anything to do with that.
Yeah.
That was based off the standard care.
So, yeah, all the law says about those is the dog owner is responsible for whatever those costs are. So sort of like building inspection, you can recover your costs, you can't make a profit.
But when it comes to the fees, we had a minimum of, I can't remember, $35. It was either 35 or 81.35, but it was under $100 for the time in and the personnel being in the field. We bumped that to the 181.25 for some, and then of course per count. So if there were, say, 3 animals caught at large, that would be 3 counts. So at a minimum, 181.25 times 3. If we went to court, or if they were able to come into compliance, a minimum per dog count of 181.25.
Well, prior to an animal being returned, a nuisance animal being returned to the owner,
Yes, sir.
do we spade or neuter the
No.
animal?
No, sir. Not as a county, nor as a state. The only time an animal is required to be spayed or neutered is once it goes into the shelter here in Madison County. For it to exit the animal shelter, it has to be spayed or neutered.
Where the animal's found?
For the house.
But the animal control kennels or MOAs. It's at the transfer station. If you come into the transfer station, there's a
hog path, if you will, off to the right, it has signs, authorized vehicles only. That's where our death pit is, and we have 9 kennels over there that are all state approved. They have their own septic system, their own facilities. That was an endeavor earlier this year to bring us into compliance so that we could get up and running.
So gentlemen, if there's no other questions, I'll entertain a motion to approve the ordinance amendments.
Make a motion to approve the ordinance amendments as documented. Second motion.
I have a motion by Commissioner Adams, second by Commissioner Chandler. Any discussion, gentlemen? Hearing none. Commissioner May?
Yes.
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 All right. Thank you. Christopher, I appreciate it.
Yes,
I know it's been a long road.
It's been a fun run. I'd say that no day's been the same.
Don't go too far. Discuss the planning and zoning recommendations for amendments to the AR zone acreage requirement.
There was no document in your packet for that.
Okay.
I don't have
You or Canoa was one of the two. Wait, you already have it.
This was brought before the P&Z board for discussion and consideration. We had, I know 2 for sure, possibly 3 business meetings where we discussed, it was a very open conversation about the possibility of going back to the 2 acres. The P&Z board took a vote of recommendation 4 to 2 to recommend going from 4 acres back to 2, and that was what they decided to put for y'all.
All right, thank you.
Yes,
so some things developed today. And I think, Mr. Scott, you were in it, several people was in that, and that was our meeting with CPL rewrite people. And I think we need to do just a little bit more legwork based off that meeting today. I don't think we'll be able to vote on this tonight. Meaning, we got to go in and see what we've got stacked up, what kind of changes will have to be made, and what may revert. Because we're going to need to know that number before we can make that motion. If I'm, Mr. Chandler, if I'm understanding.
That's one of the things we'll need to do, with the consulting group on the board now, and while this process has begun, their suggestion was, and we sort of tentatively agreed that, it'd probably be best to go ahead and let them begin the process and give us some initial feedback. We feel like probably by maybe the end of January, but certainly by sometime in February, they could be able to give us some sort of suggestion of where they think that should lie. And then at that point, would be a good time for us to make a decision.
Yeah. And just remember, that is text amendments, so it'll take a little while to do it. Gotcha.
Yeah. So then once we decide we do want to do that, then it'll be the process.
Yes, sir.
So with that being said, I'm going to, I'll entertain a motion to table until probably the 1st of March, or at least until we hear back from the consulting firm, which should be before March 1st.
Yes,
I think we're putting no action needed.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and it was on here to discuss, but yeah.
All right, yeah,
So this is,
no problem. All right, discuss.
the one thing that we will, if obviously this will affect, pending, assuming that the decision changes, or if the decision to change happens, then those rezone requests that are already been submitted, obviously we'll have to figure out the
correct.
what action needs to happen to those. Some of them will just go away or whatever that be. But again, we just have to pin that until we get that recommendation from CPL, and then we make a decision.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Discuss amending the zoning ordinance for section 7 kennels.
Talk about fun with dogs over the past 6 months. Between several experts and major kennel operators in the county, the Valhalla Kennels, they train service dogs for the military, Homeland Security, things of that nature. Talking with the University of Georgia and looking at what other counties had surrounding us, we were some of the only counties that had a conditional use. That was one thing where they just couldn't come in willy-nilly, that I was very shocked to find out. But as a group in the decision process, because we were just looking at what a kennel takes, how to define a kennel, how many dogs, how many acres. What you see before you, just the two little amendments actually go miles, because one, the first time ever, we would actually limit the number of dogs in the kennel from whether it be in an A2 or an A1. This was based off of 1 dog per acre, similar to grazing from the Georgia Department of Agriculture for the kennel, and its appropriateness with the surrounding parcels, because A2s can back up to ARs and residentials in the county, where with a 25-acre conforming A1, 25 dogs, and you can allow for larger setbacks, which we did change. Looking at kennels in a little more depth, especially with animal control, as everything kind of developed together over the past few months. It's on my board or not the P&Z board, my board in my office, when I have a chance to discuss anything with the third-party engineers, hopefully, looking towards Oconee County with limited dogs per parcel, just not a kennel, things of that nature. It would be more appropriate, and I put it to, I guess you'd say, our control group that I was speaking to, in the rewrite, having the third party render back to us what is appropriate for these zones, instead of just looking at what's around us and following suit, maybe being behind the ball. As we move forward, similar to development or residential or industry, any other, and see what their expertise said as far as how many dogs should you have in an R3 type fit subdivision versus how many dogs you have on a 300-acre A1, where we don't draw the line between a working animal versus a pet, things of that nature. It broke out in a very broad range, going just not from a breeding kennel as the state sees it and how the county sees it with the possible amendments, but to go deeper past the kennels to the actual limitation of animals. We all agree, third party, somebody with experience outside of just what's surrounding us, would be most favorable to us.
Is this under a current moratorium?
It ends the end of this month. The end of this month, or January. It's either December 31st or January 1st.
So what we're considering is everything you read.
Yes, sir.
Is new, right?
Yes, sir. Nothing's going to be taken away. We're only adding in the setbacks and the number of animals.
So if I'm reading this correctly, then kennels would be a conditional use.
Yes, sir.
And the first group up there would be in the A1 zone, that's what it would be listed at, in the A1 zone. And the next definition would be what would be listed in the A2.
Yes, sir.
So the only two zoning classifications would be considered a conditional use.
Yes, sir, because only in the 2 ag zones do we allow conditional use kennels.
In your work and the group's thought on this, did y'all consider the number of dogs that throws you into the definition of kennel?
Yes, sir. We did, as the state sees it, and what we follow through currently because of the adopted GDA enforcement in the county. Anything that constitutes a breeding kennel is having 2 females and a male that produce 2 or more litters a year. That's not per dog, that's just a site that produces 2 litters or more a year for the purpose of sale, commercial reasoning, things of that nature, not say your hog hunter that's breeding to replace possible dogs lost while hog hunting, rabbit hunters, things of that nature, shake rag, fox hunting club. But any time in the state size you produce 2 litters or more, you are a kennel, you are a breeder. So we start.
But we have a different definition in our zoning ordinance, I think, don't we? Or do we have a definition at all?
We have a definition of what a kennel is.
Yeah, we have a requirement that throws you into kennel. So if you're
Yeah. Is it the same as the state's?
It's not the exact same. It's, our ordinance actually would allow us to back up a little bit more, saying that if you have dogs for the purpose of breeding or breeding solely for sale or commercial work, you are now a kennel.
Yeah, that's what I would.
So the state just gives clarity where the numbers are.
They have a number, we just say commercial.
Yes. For the purpose of, I can't remember if it's commercial purpose. There's 3 or 4 little add-ons.
Yeah, I can, yeah, it's along those lines.
We've been under moratorium for about 6 months.
Yes, sir.
I don't like the verbiage of this. I mean, I think if we've been under moratorium for 6 months, we should have been a little more cleaner and cut, considering we're gonna make this an ordinance. You got I ain't gonna say you, but I'm just saying the ordinance as it reads now, animal hospitals or veterinarian clinics needs to be on 10 acres or 25 acres. We don't have an animal clinic in the county that's sitting on that much acreage.
Because it falls underneath the business. If it's in a business zone, different than agriculture. This is just ag, not inside a business zone.
Well, why are you gonna allow an animal hospital being an ag zone? Why wouldn't it be under a business? That needs to be under the business section. What I'm saying is, I think the verbiage needs to be clean. We need to be talking about either a dog kennel in an ag zone, an animal hospital, or veterinarian clinic in a business zone. We don't need to have them all grouped into ag, because that's what we already are facing now, the broad definition of ag.
Yes.
In the ag business, because we don't have that. We don't have an ag business.
Yes.
Our animal hospital, veterinary clinic allowed in A1, A2.
Yes, sir.
So you pretty much have to do it now.
Well, yeah, and that probably makes sense because there are some veterinarians going to have a farm, rural practice.
Sure. Doc Brubaker being one.
That's
And then I got
what I'm
one
saying,
across
so-
the street that's on 3 acres, and there's one in Comer sitting on probably 2 or
Yeah,
3.
but that's
The one
in, that's in the business.
Yeah.
106.
So that's
Right, Removed
different
Grove comes
criteria,
out like
really.
3 acres.
I mean, I don't know what the criteria is, but that's different criteria. If you put in a business district, that's a different
Yes, sir.
criteria for you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but
That's what
to
I
me, this is kind of confusing because it doesn't, I mean.
Like, does our business show
Well, it says,
these same things? Because I'm serious, I'm worried about somebody 6 months from now going back and saying, hey, I want to open one up on, in an industrial or business area, but it says I can only have it in A1. It don't say I can have it in a business.
Under the business zone,
That's what we're getting at,
Yeah.
Chris. We need to put all the eggs in the basket, then let's see what's in the basket. But, I mean,
but then 71217, that refers only to ag.
That's A1,
That's what I'm saying.
A1.
Yeah. I mean,
just
we're just looking at a little bitty piece out of the manual.
Everything is 7.1, that's pertaining to A1 zone. And everything in 7.2 is pertaining to A2.
That's what I'm saying. It's not spelled out on this sheet of paper, but we're setting in the,
So we're looking at a line item in the A1 zone
Right.
rules and a line item in the A2 zoning rules.
and only where the conditional use kennels
Right.
are. When it falls into the business zone, the business practice, and then, of course, the Georgia Licensing Board and the GDA and USDA get involved with any veterinary practice. If a vet chose to house animals, say, right outside the Comer city limits, and they went in excess of what they were licensed to hold, similar to a pet store, it'd be the same situation. Because a pet store doesn't fall underneath the kennel.
I'm sort of like Dennis, though. When I first looked at this and we started talking about it, I was a little bit confused about where this was location until Terry made that statement.
Yes, sir.
So maybe in the future, when you bring stuff like this, you might want to make some excerpts and say, this is where it's at in there, in the thing. Because all it does is just reference 7.1.
Okay, those are, and I'm sorry about that, those are the quick notes. Normally I give it from the section.
Yeah.
So bottom like
so
I went-
maybe, yeah, just that will make it clarify.
I just don't think it's clean enough. I don't think it's direct question enough, a direct answer. There's too many options and opinions, and if we're gonna do that, if we're gonna write an ordinance, let's just get it right the first time. Right now, it's vague and it's up and down.
Yes,
So,
what we tried to do is give more definition of what we had, and then also bring in the condition, or not the condition, the understanding that when you come with a conditional use, you have to be registered with the state, which also means that you're having to fall under the state guidelines. So anything that we don't currently understand with animal control or the enforcement thereof, now we have the state backing us on anything that we deem is gonna be a kennel. We're gonna have another inspection coming twice a year on the property, and they've gotta meet their standards on anything that we might have missed.
All right, well, we know the moratorium's ending, at the end of the month, but I personally feel like unless we're gonna amend it in January, this is not worth voting on.
Would it be appropriate for us to do a 69-day moratorium extension to?
I'll say this, currently, we do not, we haven't had a push like we did at the beginning of this year and the end of 2022. I'm not saying that there's nobody hovering in the choir pews, waiting
So
for
we
it.
just do it 3 months?
Well, how about this, just take the next 30 days and hopefully nobody will come in and ask them for a kennel and just rewrite it and get it back for us for the next meeting to vote on.
That's no trouble at all.
That's fine, because we don't have to make a motion tonight for that.
Well, and that one, again, that's a text amendment to the zoning ordinance, so that's gotta go through the process. Or if you want to extend the moratorium, that also requires not P and Z, but a single public hearing with the advertisement.
Yeah, so if we just let it die, it'll run its course.
Yes,
And that's what I want to do.
If y'all chose to vote on it tonight, that sets this in. It's not saying we couldn't amend it later, go into more detail.
well, no, we can't amend it tonight.
No, he means later on. He means approve this tonight and down the road.
No, we can't approve that tonight. Yeah, that's an amendment to the zoning ordinance.
So it's a moot
So
point one way or
this is
the
a
other.
presentation to make an amendment.
Yes.
Okay.
Got it.
So what I can do before their next public hearing is take it into
That's
effect
right.
and possibly get an edit to y'all by January 8th.
100%. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I would try to be clean. If I want to talk about animal hospitals and veterinary clinics, let's talk about them. If I want to talk about kennels, let's talk about them. But let's get them in our code section to where when you're gone and I'm gone and this board's gone and everything changed, they can understand what we do.
Roger that.
All right, good enough. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, but don't wait till that meeting to let us on the board know what's going on with that,
Yes, sir.
okay? Please.
I do believe that P&Z has not, we haven't voted on this yet.
Okay.
No,
Yeah, because it hasn't gone through the process.
That's right.
Okay.
So
I think
just
it's
keep
supposed to be
everybody
under
real aware of
general
what we're
order.
gonna be seeing. That will be
Oh, yes, sir.
great.
That's no
All
problem. When I come up with the next draft, I'll have to,
And just, I looked at the definition of kennels, and it's 4 or more adult animals for purpose of boarding, caring for, raising, grooming, training, or sale. So there is a number in there. So that might, you may or may not want to look at the definition as well.
took that out in 22.
I'm pulling it up from the website, which says it's the 6/5/2023 version.
Took those out when we rewrote A1 and A2.
All right, we'll check on those also.
Back to,
Consider proposed survey for fire training facility. Any discussion on this one, gentlemen? Nobody here to answer it, so.
Just one thought, I don't know how, because it's all gonna be county property, so my question is kind of like Derek's in his email, I'm not really sure why. But anyway, I don't know that we wanna lock ourselves into the survey until we know for sure that that's not sitting on top of an old pit that we would regret being on. So rather than us adopt this, I know they're talking about doing some test holes to determine location. So before we lock into this, I'd like to.
And I had a little discussion with Christina about that. I think that the only reason you would want to carve out a parcel is if you want to give the fire department's exclusive possession of that, the way Moaz has exclusive possession of their property. If it's just going to be the structure is on county property for the fire departments to come and use, there's no need to designate it as a separate parcel.
I think where the confusion came in was the way the motion was made that night was we said we would, extract, not really extract, we used the word extract. We used the word of, we will dedicate 2.5 acres. And we give it an exact number versus it's sitting on, say, 16, 18 acres, and we were trying to give them a boundary to know what they had to work within. That was more of the whole reason behind it. And then when they realized that it created a 1 acre parcel that's sort of landlocked behind it, it was like, well, it's no use to either one of us, let's just incorporate it. But I think that's where the thought process was, but with that being said, you're right. It's not a great big hurry. We'll do some test holes first. It was moved, from one position to the other to get on a knoll, for water flow runoff reasons instead of being in the valley. But I don't think that's gonna be a problem. I think everything else is already moving forward. So with that being said, consider survey of transfer station property. I don't know much about that one. Other than it's probably the remaining balance, you might be able to help me, Stephanie, it's probably the remaining balance of the land left over after you remove the fire station.
No idea.
Okay.
I think what I've understood from Christina's email, and this might have been just between her and me, is that, we actually had the county surveyor, she had the county surveyor do a boundary survey of that entire property, and it did have some old stuff, and so you have some cleaner lines and more accurate survey of the entirety now.
Yeah, now that I recall, you are correct. There wasn't an actual survey of any of it. That's part of the reason we've got some of these county surveys is because we don't have them.
Yeah.
So it was like, while you're surveying it, let's go ahead and mark the other four corners so we know, because we're in a lease agreement with 12 acres that honestly, we don't even have a map to tell them where it's at. So while changing one, we just corrected the other. That's what that's about. Thank you for the refresher. And I apologize, and I hope she's feeling better, because I know you're home watching, Christine. I hope you're feeling better. She's very sick today while she's out tonight. So. All right. Consider a new software system for the tax commissioner's office. There you go, old boy. This has been a long time coming, gentlemen.
It has. Almost 30 years. I left y'all a cover letter that pretty well lays everything out I'm gonna bring before you tonight.
Lamar, can I hold you up for a point of order just to make my brain work better?
Yeah.
11 and 12, where it says consider these things, we're really not taking any action. We'll just let the record reflect that that was a discussion on.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Sorry. No problem. I came before y'all last year about the same time with this same issue, but when we rolled into January, due to the tremendous growth in the county, I had 3 times as delinquencies I've ever had in my terms as tax commissioner, and I decided to concentrate on them. I'm renewing my request now for a new software provider. We currently has TBS. Now, some of the stuff I'm gonna bring before you, Ms. Baker can substantiate, because for a number of years, she was right there with us, going through the same stuff. Over the terms of my office, we've had numerous issues with consolidation sheets not matching between the assessor's office and my office. Lately, because TBS has grown, they bought the Manatron system and another smaller provider. Everything's up north, New York, first one thing another. It digests submission. We pretty much get ignored. You know, sometimes just a minute issue would give you anywhere from 24 hours to 72 hours before they reply. A lot of times when you bring an issue before them, or you have a service that you need done, first one thing another, they nickel and dime you to death, and you got to get the money before they'll do stuff, first one thing to another. We had last week a $7.3 million mortgage company check held up for 4 days because they wouldn't reply to our emails letting us know what we needed to do, first one thing to another. And then finally Friday, I emailed them and told them I was going to somebody else, that I didn't want to play with them anymore, and miraculously it all got took care of. Okay. So, just tired of dealing with them. They're not the company that Louise went with 30 years ago, you know. And this company that I bring before you tonight, G-Tax, is probably the sharpest group of men and women in the state. All of them are ex-Department of Revenue employees. Most of them are actually the guys that trained myself and Robin Baker when we started out as appraisers years ago. You know, they do the wind gap system that most appraisal services in the state uses, or Greg and Tracy's baby. They invented it, produced software, and just about every appraisal office in the state uses it. And it'd be a big advantage to go with them because the interface between Robin's office and mine is almost instantaneous. The bookkeeping is just a point-and-click application. They are a local company. Everybody there is Georgia born and bred, Georgia raised, okay? They have 14 counties now in the state of Georgia, 2 more coming online first of the year in 1 city. When I brought this to y'all last year, they had like 5. So this is gonna be something that's gonna grow. Now, they don't have a mail service. So we would have to go to an outside provider for that. But the provider that the references I spoke to used was Devco, and after talking to them, it's a little better than a wash. It's actually a little bit cheaper than what we're paying Harris right now. The startup fees are on the presentation right here. Maintenance fees are substantially cheaper the second year in than what we pay in Harris right now also. And it is a $30,000 startup fee. That includes this year's maintenance and then $15,000 a year for maintenance every year after that, which is a little bit cheaper than what we're paying Harris now, for about $7,000 a year, okay? With that though, you get instant, if you say you have a digest submission issue, with their remote processing and stuff like that, they click on the computer and drive it for you. You don't have to wait 3 or 4 days. They'll have a representative there with us when we go through and change the system over. They'll have a representative there for day 1 for our first digest submission. They're pretty sharp.
Well, let me ask you a question. I know you was upset about Harris getting our tax bills out to the public late this year.
That's right. Well, every year we've managed to get the budget work done to where we get a collection order and can get the tax bills out a month, sometimes a month and 2 or 3 weeks before the October billing date to give people another extra month or so to do it. This year, we got a consent order, collection order in September, but because of Harris messing up local exemptions, which they've done several times in the past, we ended up getting the bills out by the 2nd week of October, 3rd week of October. You know, it wasn't really what we had intended to do. And both of the homesteads that they've mixed up have been on the books. The L5, age 70 and over, has been there for 3 years, you know, and they claim that because it was an $18,000 exemption, they just mistook it for the homeowner's relief grant. They've been doing it for 3 years. Colbert has a local exemption that Robin fought with them, and I fought with them for almost 5 years before they've got it right. You know, every year we would be ready to go and have to wait on them. But back in those days, it was easy to get in touch with them. Now, not so much. You know. Now, as far as the startup fee for the licensing and maintenance and whatever, I'm gonna roll a large portion of that back on my budget this year. Now, I do have an issue with my postage because of the additional delinquent letters, FIFO letter stuff we had to mail out on 2,640 delinquencies as opposed to the 700 to 900 I usually have. So I'm not quite sure there how that's going to shake out yet, but I have the filing fees and the advertising fees roll back to the county 100% off every digest. The tax collection fee is sitting at about $7,000 right now and should roll that back provided the postage falls in the next 2 or 3 weeks where it needs to be. Digest submissions taken care of. We're pretty current on most of our Harris stuff, right? So it's something I really wish y'all would consider, because if you talk to the 2 references right there, the Wilkes County lady said just the nickel and dime stuff is worth it to her not to have to deal with them anymore. And even though they're a lot smaller population, they mirror us because they use Harris, they use government windows for the credit card and online payments, and they use AMS for the tax sales. and she loves it to death. McDuffie County is a little bit bigger population, 21,000. She had a little bit of trouble with the startup and changeover, but she did it in August, right before the tax bill went out. So we'd like to do a spring rollout where we got everything settled in and done when we get ready to go to a digest submission.
So you're talking about like March or whatever?
Yes, sir. The mobile home bills will be going out in February. That's about a $246,000 deal line item, but it's manageable right there. It's a lot better than 27 million.
So, but I mean, what would be ideal one to do the rollout? I mean, when?
They'll come in as soon as
doing a conversion, how long would that?
Conversion will take 2 weeks, 10 days, 2 weeks at the most. We in pretty good shape as far as our server, because y'all had approved a new server for the tax assessor's office. So the only thing I would need to do is set up a remote portal in my office, which I have for the title searches and stuff like that. I'll just dedicate it to GTAX. And if we have a problem with something, they take over and drive the bus and fix it right there in front of you. Reports are almost instantaneous because the data goes to that server from both offices. Accountants, a lot easier process. The lady down at tax commissioner down in Wilkes County told me it cut her payout process from 3 or 4 hours, and she does a daily checkup just like we do and reconcile. She cuts her payout process from about 4.5 hours down to about an hour and a half. And they print the checks too.
So from your viewpoint, what would be, if this was approved, when would you like to know that it's approved and like to get working?
No money's owed on it until I say we're ready for it. So if we were to contact them first of the year, they would roll in there. They got 2 counties they're bringing online now, but they hiring. I told Greg the other day, I said, as fast as somebody retires from Department of Revenue, y'all give them a job. He said, we're trying to hire some before they retire. But as quick as we could get them in, you're looking at about 2 weeks. And there's a little bit of training curve.
Well, what I'm asking though is really, when would you like to know it official? I mean, if it was ideal with you.
End of January.
Okay.
End of January.
Well, all right. Okay.
And that'd give me an idea of what we're looking at on postage too. You know, I'll know exactly to the dollar what I'm giving back this year. Okay. So that'd help a lot.
Any contractual any contractual language or anything that we need?
I have no copy of the contract. I give Christina the.
She included it from the last time
Okay.
you gave it to her.
Yeah, I got the proposal right here.
Yeah, we just have the proposal, we don't have a contract.
We don't have a contract yet.
Probably don't have one for wind gap.
I wouldn't think so.
Wind gap is the standard. I don't know there are any counties, apparently there's a handful that don't use it. But, I've been familiar with Mr. Reese and wind gap for many years, and although it's against my instincts as a lawyer to say we might not need a contract, just knowing the track record of that company. And also, if this is something that's going to make the tax commissioner's office interface easier with that wind gap system in the assessor's office, I would, like you said, that'll become the standard pretty fast.
It's not just that though, because we have a lot heavier hand than most tax commissioners in digest submission. You know, I've told Todd several times, Brian, first one thing another, I'm an elected official, but I'll be a county employee till the day I die. And if we need to do something, you know, we step in and do it. Now, Melanie does as good a job as anybody in the state of Georgia, but this will make her job a lot easier too. But digest time is where this is real, you get your most bang for the buck. You know, reports and stuff like that's good on our end, but y'all don't never see them. You know, it's always done before y'all get the check. But if I didn't personally know these people, I would probably stay with Harris. But these people right here, some of the sharpest minds in tax appraisal in the state of Georgia, and I got references on there, and I would welcome y'all to call those 2 ladies. They said they'd be glad to talk to you.
Well, Mark, I recall pretty vividly last year, you were on the fence.
I was.
Because you was like, you just didn't want to cut Harris loose, but yet you knew you had to.
Well, here's the thing with Harris. That's a 30-year company. You got a certain amount of continuity right there. And even with the fussing and grumbling, you can sort of overlook some things. But I just been pushed to the limit with being ignored, and I don't take that real well. I just don't. and it got real ugly and come to a head last week. Because here's the thing, that $7 million was our biggest mortgage provider. Now, as of today, we are 72% collected, which is the best we ever been before the due date. And it is good. I mean, it's great. We rolled into last year with those big, with all those big delinquencies at somewhere around 4.48. They're about $1 million. Well, we're not going to do that this year. Plus, our multi-year delinquencies are down to less than 320. So we in pretty good shape, you know.
I don't have any objection to you changing because you know what you do, and
right.
To a certain degree, I don't, other than you're a tax person.
I
think what I would like, I think, Lamar, what I'd like to see is a currently dated proposal, number one.
Okay.
And this one on mine, it says 10/23/2022.
That's the old one right there. I have a new one somewhere that it mirrors. I mean, it's the same proposal. I do have one with another date on it.
And the other thing I'd like to see, and I guess Derek and I come from this world, is I like contractual agreements. I mean, that way at the end of the day, it tells me what my expectations are for you and what yours are for me. And if they could provide us that, I don't have any objection at all to this. Just get a current or
when I will speak to Greg tomorrow. As far as the 10/22, now this copy right here was what he gave me, and I remember when I sat down and talked to him at Savannah this year, he told me he would hold the same values as when I spoke to him back in 22, so he may have just slid in the same perspective, but I'll get something current from him.
Yes.
I don't have any problem doing that.
A lot of what you need for the contract is in this proposal.
It is.
If he has not done one for anybody yet, I'll be happy to work with him.
Well, it's a subscription. You know, sequel is the different levels of wind gap as it improves, right? And there's a different charge for the software every time they go through an improvement, a first one, things like that. So I will now let down with him tomorrow. He's extremely approachable.
Yeah.
The only part of that I didn't hear that I would like to know is how many years that annual maintenance cost could go unchanged.
Well, here's the thing. I do look for them eventually offering mailing as an option.
Mm-hmm.
So you may see an increase right there in the subscription rate. As of right now, like I said, he's holding us to the same thing he quoted us a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I spoke to the lady down at McDuffie County and Wilkes County, and both of them paid the same fee last year that he's given us right here.
That's just big one thing up.
Yeah.
That fee is good for 3 years, 5 years.
Not so much with the wind gap too. Greg also owns a company, GMAS, that goes in and fixes broke counties. They do reappraisal stuff. They do personal property for several counties in the state of Georgia, Gwinnett County being one of them. So they strongly immersed in the tax business, and this was just something they branched out on a couple of years ago.
So can you get with Christina and get us something back in January?
I'll call Greg tomorrow.
Our final January meeting of the year.
That'll work. If I could do it by then, I think we'd be all right. It'd be, one of the cons on the second page right there is Harris, with the companies that go away from them, is extremely vindictive. And it's hard to get the data transferred right, get stuff over first one thing to another. And I think that may have been what's exacerbated some of the problems this year, because one of the people that Melanie reached out to for billing tax bills was Harris. And they was wondering why we did that, and then it just sort of hit the fan with them. You know, I would think.
Thank you, sir.
No, that's all right. And listen, I'm going to tell y'all, I have it on good authority that the Santa Claus for the courthouse Friday is an extremely good-looking Santa.
Yeah.
Just so y'all know.
You might have,
He ain't one to brag.
but he might have a few vices, but he'll.
Oh, I got a bunch of vices, but I got a new suit too. I appreciate y'all. Thank you,
Thank you, Lamar.
Anytime.
Consider selecting a finalist for negotiation of contract for engineering services for Madison County Water Feasibility Study. Gentlemen, it looks like, based off what I'm seeing here, Turnip Seed Engineer, date and time received, December 4th, 2023, 10:34 a.m. Proposal price is $70,000. It looks like the other two has been, or the other one has been eliminated. Am I correct? Or is this price NA, not available? I don't know. I wasn't part of this one.
From my understanding, and I wasn't on the review committee, but do we have a?
There's not a review committee to this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we Christina had prepared a matrix, a pointed matrix.
Oh, yeah, scoring sheet.
Yes, and, Carter and Sloop
Was the recommendation?
was the recommendation that we came up with based on, myself, Gary,
Mark.
Mark did his remotely with us, and there were some questions. Turnip Seed provided a lump sum price, but there was a question regarding whether all the services were included, and Carter and Sloop definitely had more depth than Turnip Seed did.
Okay.
But, here again, this is something that can be, we can get Christina's report at our first meeting next month and move forward from there.
That'd be fine. Is there any-
suggested what happened.
Yeah, if there's any questions y'all have, please reach out to Christina. All right.
She can provide the questions on the matrix, Tim. I mean, everybody was great, I would say.
It's just two submissions.
We had a third, but it was submitted late, so it was sent to the side.
24 hours late, to be honest.
So this is one you're gonna delay action on. It was down as consider, so I was asking, you're not gonna postpone this one to the next meeting?
Are you comfortable with this?
I'm comfortable with Carter and Sloop.
Okay, so would you like to make a motion?
I'd like a motion. I would be comfortable with making a motion.
So what is the price though?
Do we need to negotiate until we?
The price, it was a request for qualifications,
Correct.
not for a price.
Right.
So technically, they're,
the price is gonna be, we're not set to any price by
No, we are not.
Okay.
One of the advantages that Carter and Slope put down that Turnip Seed didn't was their ability to assist in grant writing, which is huge. That ultimately, that was the pretty much the deciding factor on it. But a quote for services was not part of what our requirements.
All right.
And we got a grant to fund this, correct?
Yes, on the
Grant to fund.
the water feasibility study was a 50/50 grant,
Yes.
and it's been paid. Now we're just waiting for the award.
Is there any deadline on entering into this contract? No?
Not that I recall.
Okay.
That was one thing we looked at also, was
Carter and Sleeper, I mean, based on my experience with them, the price will not be cheap. But this is just to choose them as the one you would like to negotiate with and see what the price will be. If it doesn't work out, you can go to the next.
well, that was the other thing that I guess Gary and I had some concerns about. Ben Turnip Seed was shown still as the principal of Turnip Seed and and it's my understanding that the firm has been the firm has merged with someone else. And so I didn't have the comfort level there that.
All right, well, if you feel comfortable, then I'll entertain a motion.
Then made a motion, I'll second the motion to appoint Carter Sloot as the finalist and negotiate a final contract with that team.
All right, I have a motion by Commissioner Adams, second by Commissioner Doster. Any other discussion, gentlemen? Hearing none. I think I lost it. I don't remember where I was on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't remember who I was on, I'm sorry. I didn't write it down.
I don't have a vote, but I do have a question. Who is going to head up contacting Carter and Sloot and starting the negotiation process?
Christina will contact them and get
Okay.
dates set.
Okay. I'm very comfortable with that. I was also afraid for Christina you would say that.
Yeah, no, Roger, I'm sorry.
I think last week or a couple of weeks ago, the thing was, he's not here, let's do him.
Yeah.
I believe is what was said.
All right, well, I hope Christina's got a big gunny sack.
There you go.
Well, I mean, I asked for Christina to look at, I looked at the documents too, and I think the team that Carter Sloot's got is, they got some good folks that I know.
All right, consider appointing Jennifer Laster to the Northeast Georgia Aging Service Advisory Council as the Board of Commissioners appointee. This is a role that has not been appointed since Bruce Gandy was on it, that many years ago. We just was made aware that we need to do reappointments, and he was a representative. There's two different appointments. One is from the Board of Commissioners, one is from the Senior Center, and they have that one filled, so me and Christina talked about it. We spoke with Jennifer, and for the main point of contact for the Senior Center, Jennifer already, so we felt like that would be the best choice, and she agreed to do so. So, if I can entertain a motion to appoint her.
I'll make a motion to appoint you.
All right, I have a motion by Commissioner Kirk, a second by Commissioner Doster. Any discussion, gentlemen? Hearing none?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
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 All right. Thank you. Consider appointing Megan Rigg to the Northeast Georgia Aging Services Advisory Council as the Senior Center appointment. It looks like we got to do both. I should have took it up in one motion. I apologize. I didn't see it on the back. That's my fault.
I make a motion to appoint Megan Riggs.
Motion by Commissioner Kirk, second by Commissioner Chandler. Any discussion? Hearing none, Commissioner May.
Yes.
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 Consider a contract with CPL Architect Engineering and Planning. Myself, Commissioner Chandler, Commissioner Adams, Lee Mitchell, Canola Scott, Gary Harbin sat in a presentation today with this group, and if I could make a motion, I'd make a motion to approve them, but I can't, so I'll entertain a motion for CPL.
And I did have some communication with them on the contract, and that's the finished version.
Okay. I move that we move forward with this contract with CPL for our ordinance review and revision.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Chandler, second by Commissioner Kirk. Any discussion, gentlemen?
The motion needs value in it. As presented, I mean.
Yeah, right, I mean, this actually is, so this is the contract, there's your term, appendix A is your terms and conditions, and it incorporates, I forgot what it's called, but the portion of the, proposal that sets out all the details of the.
We're approving the contract.
Yes, that's right, so you are approving the contract.
Right. So this represents their schedule of values.
Yes, sir, correct. And that was one of the clarifications I asked for, I don't remember which one it's in, but somewhere in the terms and conditions, it's clarified that their monthly billing will be based on the percentage of each task completed that month.
Yeah, they broke it down, task 1 through 5. All right, with that being said, gentlemen, any other discussions? Hearing none, Commissioner Kirk?
Yes.
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 Yes. Thank you, gentlemen. Lee Mitchell. Do it. Consider the 2024 beer and wine application for licensing. Lacey, would you like to give us an update on this one, considering this is your baby?
We currently have 19 applicants for Madison County. All but one complied with all of our timeframes and requirements, including fingerprinting, background checks, advertisements. The only one that did not comply with all of our requirements is CVS Pharmacy, which shocked me to death. They did not get their advertisement in on time. The store manager never would call me back and correspond with my emails or phone messages, so they did not get their advertisement run until this week. So they will not be done with their advertisement until January. I would recommend to approve the other 18 because they have followed all of our requests and guidelines. CVS to postpone getting theirs until January 29th.
All right. Gentlemen, I'll entertain a motion to approve excluding CVS Pharmacy 7782 in whole, George.
I make a motion to approve.
I have a motion by Commissioner Adams, second by Commissioner May. Any discussion, gentlemen? Hearing none, Commissioner Doster.
Yes.
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 Thank you. Consider the amendments to the Madison County GDOT MEA/LOR speed limit on State Route 72. And for the record, the state has changed the speed limit signs on Highway 72, but they're not accurate until we finish our paperwork. They went ahead and posted the signs, and people are probably obeying them, but
The purpose of this is for our radar permit. The state patrol can do whatever they want, but Madison County, they can't run their radar until we agree that this mileage can be changed for the state to update our permit.
this will be to increase the speed limit in one area from 45 to 55 and from 55 to 65 in two other areas. If I'm not mistaken, am I correct?
I believe so, yeah.
Yes. All I can say is thank you, Lacey. If y'all knew what this entailed, this was a train wreck to try to get done because the state changed the formatting policy that we have to answer the questions, and they did not know how to work their site. They give us a technical support to navigate with. But it was mandatory that we get it done immediately because the governor wanted it done. He was waiting on us for some reason. Out of all the roads, they're waiting on Highway 72.
But you know, deal with plumbing license and go through 5 different agencies. And nobody knows from anybody else.
Is yours worse this year than it has been?
Absolutely.
My wife ran into the same thing with her professional.
All right, so, yeah. I'll need a
Make a
motion.
motion to approve the radar.
Make a motion.
All right, I have a motion by Commissioner Dawson, second by Commissioner Chandler. Any discussion, gentlemen? Hearing none. Commissioner Adams?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, motion carries. Lacey, again, thank you for that pain, because I know it was a lot.
I know your wife is a plumber.
A different kind of professional. Still waiting to master in licensing this year.
Road updates, gentlemen, what you got?
And this has been discussed before, and I talked to Derek about it one day last week. The road work we did on Jones Road, we need that pipe, that pipe. School bus crosses it 8 times a day. It needs taken care of.
Wow. All right.
We got a call from a couple on Fleming Circle, so if you guys could get over that, take a look at that one.
You said William Circle?
Fleming.
Oh, Plymouth Circle, okay. Any others, gentlemen? I've called
Fleming.
I think it's Freeman.
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 You are correct.
It's up here off of 29. Is that road to the left, maybe, I don't know, going back over in that area, going back towards the college, somewhere out. We got Arthur Road, you know.
The road that goes behind, kind of snakes behind, Waiver.
Oh, okay.
There's buses that go through that one too.
Okay. What other roads, gentlemen? Brian, you got any?
Well, I was just talking with Derek, it's what is that, Hope, where Hope Church Road is, it's right there in Comer, wherever we, Derek and mine, I don't know which district's in, it's right on the line, me and him both.
Okay.
You know where, what is it? You know where Hope?
It's not New Hope Church.
New Hope, well, it's New Hope Church and something else road.
Okay.
All right?
Gotcha. I'll look it up.
I hate that I don't
No, it's okay.
remember exactly, because this was the lady I actually worked with at Caterpillar that lives down there.
Wow.
A different comment on the Langford Cary Road we considered partially abandoning. My time spent over there tells me that partial abandonment is not going to be a viable option for solution to those problems. So if you would take that consideration off the table for Langford Cary Road.
Okay.
I'm still working on Young Harris. I think there's some potential there, but just going to keep working on it.
And then, I don't know if you had an opportunity to ride that Sam Bruce Road, Brown Hendricks. Wow, that one blew my mind. When you forge the creek, it's, one end of it, on one side of the forge, is a great dirt road. I mean, it's really, really nice. But when you cross that creek, you start up a mountain, it's just solid rock. There's no mud, there's no dirt, there's no gravel, because it's rock. And it's got 1.5 to 2 foot craters in it. You have to have a four-wheel drive. I couldn't get it up it in my Tahoe. So we took Alan's truck and four-wheel drive to get up it. But it's Brown Hendricks. It's on the end from Sam Bruce is when it's so bad.
Oh, God.
Having flashbacks.
We don't want.
Yes, I know.
Look, I have talked to some folks from that, but nobody from Brown Hendricks has talked to me.
Well, there's only 2 people that lives on the thing.
Yeah, well,
But
I'm glad they know your name is that much.
yeah, so those 2 people have an access off of the Hannah Creek Road. They can come in off Hannah Creek all day long.
So that road is just,
Yeah, so they want to put a gate at the creek, and that way they can access their property. But that other road, honestly, I don't know how to fix it, because it's probably at least a 40-degree
well,
angle.
obviously, we
and
haven't
solid
been doing
rock.
anything to it.
Oh, we haven't touched it in 7 years.
Well,
I don't even know that we can get them a piece of equipment other than
It was a dirt road in Madison County I didn't know about.
That's the only one, I've never seen it either.
well, nobody, I can't believe some, I don't know why they would have called about it now. Wow.
Well, they actually called and asked me, can we close it, because it's still
Oh,
got
is that
too
what they
dangerous.
wanted to do?
Yes, they said
Okay.
it's too dangerous to go up and down, and they actually realized that there was not much of a way that we
That's
could
good
fix
deal.
it, other
I'm all
than
for
building
it.
a new road.
I'm all for it.
I thought so too. Yes,
I would if I had my Jeep now, but.
that's right, need a Jeep. I've lost mine.
Number 21.
Yeah, I've lost my road updates, so statements, remarks from citizens on tonight's agenda. Anybody?
I think this is any matters.
Huh?
Yeah.
Okay. So I spent all afternoon putting together a year-end report from all the departments, and I know it's 5 minutes to 8. Would you gentlemen want me to just give them to the newspaper, or do you want to hear them? Because I've got all the department heads' reports for the year.
Can you send them to us? Is there anything that?
I can.
From the paper standpoint, I'd probably put it in for the next week's paper from when we do, not in this
All right,
week.
so let me just email it to the board, and I'll attach you on it, because it is a lot of public information that I want to get out there, because there's a lot of good things that happened, and a lot of different departments that won awards and done great things that needs to be publicized, but to be honest, this is long. I mean,
Is there anything that should concern us?
nothing is to be concerned about.
Okay.
Everything is nothing but positive.
Trusted, he's from the government.
Yeah, trust me. We're good. I will say this one thing though, and we calculated it up before we came in here today. We took my calendar and went back through and counted every month, and 989 face-to-face meetings we've had this year in all. Whether it be a Zoom face-to-face or somebody sitting there, was 989 times I saw somebody this year. Averages out to about 4 a day, including weekends. So, bunch of people, but we're busy, everybody's good. I'll send this out. I think y'all find it interesting because there is some good stuff in here. With that being said, executive session or urgent matters?
Statement of remarks from commissioners.
Did we make sure that we didn't have any of these good citizens that wanted to say anything?
Yeah, I said citizens.
I called them good, so they feel compelled, satisfied to sit there.
Do you want us to say something?
No. Please don't. I was so afraid that that was the one person that I knew was going to say. She's already made you
something.
She's already sent us over. I know, she already sent us an email. Nasty letter.
All right, with that being said, no urgent matters are heard. Executive session to discuss real estate acquisition, personal matters, potential litigation.
No, sir.
Commissioner Doster, please.
Move to adjourn.
Thank you, sir.
We do appreciate all that.
Yes, Merry Christmas.
Everybody.
I would feel real bad if we sat up here and there wasn't somebody out here that wasn't on board. Yeah, y'all have a Merry Christmas. I may not see you before the trip.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you.
All right.
Merry Christmas.
Nice.